Good morning, everyone. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Thursday, December 18th. We've had lots of end of the year activity in our office, and so I apologize for the late start. We're going to begin with our public statement. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear, and we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and we stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC. All right, and with that, we will move on to our department updates. Ms. Kelly's here. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a few updates. According to the Indiana Department of Health dashboard, as of December 16th, there have been no increases in emergency department visits for COVID-like illness, but wastewater concentrations are continuing to trend up. According to data from Wastewater Scan, we are now seeing moderate levels of flu, but very low levels of RSV. The health department still has free COVID tests available. Anyone can walk in Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to pick up free tests. And the public health clinic located at 333 East Miller Drive has vaccines available. You can call 812-353-3244 for an appointment.
Great, thank you so much. Comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't, thank you.
Commissioner Madeira?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other department updates for us for items? It could be on Teams, or you can come to the podium here in the Nat U Hill room. Okay, seeing none, we will now move on to public comment. Public comment is time reserved for items that are not on our agenda. We ask speakers to limit their time to 3 minutes per person, and to please provide their name and their county of residence when they speak. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium here in the Nat U Hill room. We have someone online, TSD, called with the name or the initials ES.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me okay?
We can, thank you.
Yes, this is Eric Spoonmore, proud Monroe County resident and taxpayer. I would like to encourage the Commissioners to establish just some basic standards of decorum for your meetings. We hear the opening public statement each week and see the sign that's displayed there behind you that says this is a space for no hate or something to that effect, yet the community is becoming routinely subjected to some of the most hateful, vulgar expletives in the English language in these meetings. And it kind of gives the perception that control has been lost. And I can't imagine that's the perception that some of you are going for, or maybe it is, I really don't know. But I do think we can debate flashpoint issues in a spirited way that doesn't involve cursing and shouting obscenities to make our points. And so when it feels like control has been lost in these meetings, it becomes less welcoming and less inclusive for the community as a space. And I think that preserving an inclusive and welcoming environment are the kinds of values our community wants to see reflected in your management of these meetings. So please consider establishing some basic standards of decorum. I think it would be easy. You have the ability to do that if you want, and I'd encourage you to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have public comment for items not on our agenda? All right. We will now move on to the next item, please.
Move approval of the minutes for December 18th, 2025.
Second?
We have a motion and we have a second. Any comments, corrections, or edits? Mhm. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes for December 18th, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket, accounts payable, December 18th, 2025.
Second?
We have a motion and we have a second. Good morning.
Good morning. I have two items I'm going to read. The first is the accounts payable claims docket for December 18th, 2025, which totals $113,777,463.57. This includes all emergency claims and adjustments.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to, I have two things. So first, I do want to ask a question. There was a unapproved claim that was in.
She'll do that in a second motion.
Okay. Is that all that's in the second motion?
Yes.
Okay. And does this amount include that amount?
No.
Okay, thank you. Comments or questions? All right, I'm going to make a motion to remove a $30,000 item from this claim because we have not heard it here at a commissioner's meeting. And that is for BEDC. So that changes the claim total. That's my motion.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Any public comment on the motion to amend?
Good morning, Council. My name is Clark Greiner. I'm the interim president for the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation. Wanted to just mention that I think funding of the BEDC is an important thing to consider from now into the future. And I'd like to see if there's anything we can do to get you to reconsider those opportunities. The BEDC has been instrumental, particularly over this past year with the SEMTRA tax abatement. We led the way on that, worked very closely with the county on this. We have lots of opportunities now we're working on out at the airport and many, many other things that we do. We act as, I believe, the lead economic development organization for Monroe County overall. So we continue your, would appreciate your support financially to help us continue to level up our expertise and our business attraction, business retention program. So thank you.
Thank you. It's not, we're pulling it out of the claims because we don't have anything that we've approved on our agenda.
Okay.
It's a technicality.
Oh.
So we will be considering this, I believe, in January. I don't know which meeting, but
Okay.
early first or second week of January.
All right.
So it's.
Thank you. Well, then I'll get it.
So
I'll get
stay
to come back and
tuned.
say it again. So
Keep an
thank
eye
you.
on the agenda.
I'll do it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Any other public comment on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amendment to the claim signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And you have another item?
I think you just voted on the amendment. You might want to vote on the rest of the claim document.
But it sounds like there's another potential amendment here?
I think it's a separate
It's a
item
totally
to
separate.
vote on.
Okay,
It's not
thank you.
part of this.
All right, great. I didn't know if we had amendments coming from.
Yeah. Nope.
Excellent. Okay. So now we'll be taking public comment on the amended claims docket. You may raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amended claims docket for accounts payable December 18th, 2025, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
The uncertified claims docket for December 18th, 2025 totals $15.
I'm not sure do we have to vote on this, Mr. Cockrell?
I think you should, because it is a claim request.
Okay. That
If
it's
you- if you-
uncertified doesn't mean that we're supporting its payment.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that if you approve the uncertified, then it will get paid. If you do not approve the uncertified, then it will not get paid.
Ah.
I think that's the gist of it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that the uncertified claim of $15 on the claims docket today is not paid. So a vote yes is a vote not to pay it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any public comment on this item? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of denying the unapproved claim signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Was that sufficient, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Something new all the time. I've been doing this for years. All right. So we don't have any reports today. And we'll move on to our next agenda item, please.
Move approval of Integra Realty Resources Agreement, Fund Name Reassessment, Fund Number 1224, in the amount of $17,170.
Second.
$170.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
a
sure
little
what this
weird.
amount is. Could you tell us what the amount is, ma'am?
Of course. I'm Judy Sharp,
Yeah.
County Assessor. Gillen, had to put the glasses back on. The total amount, Phase 1 will be $17,700. Is that what you're asking?
Can you go ahead and finish your motion?
The amount is $17,700.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Assessor Sharp.
Okay, thank you,
Good morning.
ladies. Good morning. What this is two appraisals that I'm going to have with David Hall, Integra Tax again. They've been doing our appraisals for us. I have to have an appraisal when this goes up to the state, when an appeal goes. These two are at the state. I'll lose if I don't have an appraisal. That's bottom line. And so anyway, David will do this. We've spelled this out to you guys. It's a lot to read, I know. The scope and all of this kind of stuff. Phase 1 fees, valuation and oral report, $5,900. Then they have to do the written, it's $4,300. And then it just, goes on and on. This is not overnight. This doesn't get done overnight. So, but he does put a cap on how much the appraisal will cost. What I don't know yet is if we go to state, which we're going to the state, I mean, it's already set. But sometimes if the people that are filing these things against us, they don't have an appraisal, and they don't usually want some of them. Yes, most of them will get an appraisal, but these two so far, knock on wood, have not had an appraisal. So with our appraisal and they see it, maybe they'll pull it, their appeal. If they don't, what happens when we go to the state, it's a court of law, and we'll be up there depending upon, the most I've ever had to sit there, it was 5 days. And God, please never have to do another 5 days. But it will be 2 or 3 days. And unfortunately, our appraiser has to be there also. because you have to listen to the other side. You know, Jody, you've done this. So that's where the fee comes in, that will be a little bit more, but we'll keep you guys appraised. This comes out of reassessment. So that's for this year. We'll see what happens next year.
Okay, Swan. All right, thank you so much. Comments or questions? Commissioner Madeira?
I have none, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't, thank you.
I don't either. We've done this before. We've been there before, so. All right. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Integra Realty Resources Agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Have a great holidays.
You too.
We'll see you the new year.
You too. Thank
You
you.
don't think we have to be back, so anyway. Thank you all.
We do, but you don't.
Next week? You're not working next
Not,
Thursday.
not a commissioners meeting.
Not a commissioners meeting. We have a meeting Monday night. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
The fun never ends. All right. Next item, please.
Move approval of the Harold Fish agreement to replace the controller in the clerk's office. Fund name 2025 GO bond. Fund number 4820 in the amount of $23,845.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second.
Thank you.
Mr. Kreider.
Good morning, Commissioners. Richard Kreider, Building and Fleet Manager. More controls expansion at the Justice Building. This request is to accept the proposal submitted by HFI in the amount of $23,845 to replace HVAC controlling devices in the clerk's office and integrate the devices into the new supervisor software.
Thank you so much. Comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
No, thank you.
I don't either. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Harold Fish HFI agreement to replace the controller in the clerk's office signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the Waste Management District Green Business Network Agreement renewal. Fund name, County General, Fund number 1000 in the amount of $5,450.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Kreider.
Okay, this request is to accept the annual service contract renewal with the Green Business Network for recycling pickup at multiple county buildings in the amount of $5,445. The contract details are community corrections, that's $900 for one pickup a week. Courthouse, $900 for one pickup a week. Curry Building, $900 one pickup a week. Health Building, $475 for two pickups a month. Justice Building, $900 for one pickup a week. Showers North, $900 for one pickup a week. Youth Services Bureau, $475 twice a month.
Okay. I don't think this math is correct.
Uh-oh.
It is not correct. I don't
Nothing?
think. So we have $4,500 with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 900. We have 2 at 475. May just be me. 950. All right. So you had said 5445. But the number on here is actually right, which is 5,450.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where I got thrown off. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're good.
Okay.
We're good. Nothing to see here. All right. Comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
Nope.
Glad we're using the Waste Reduction District. This is an important program. I know there are some things they can't take, like shredded paper, as we found out on our tour of the health building last week. But that doesn't mean that that can't be taken by ourselves down to South Walnut. So, but it really is a good program, and this is, I encourage local businesses to consider adding this to their services. All right. Any public comment on this item? You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Waste Reduction District Green Business Network Agreement renewal signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of Resolution 2025-53, surplus property for multiple departments.
Second.
We have a motion, and we have a second. Mr. Kreider.
Okay, this request is to approve surplus of items from multiple departments. The auditor's office, 21 office chairs that are damaged and/or past service life, they will be discarded as trash. Commissioner's office, 18 vehicles past service life. I'm recommending that these go for trade. The highway department, damaged aluminum street signs that'll be sold for scrap. 2 damaged office chairs that will be discarded as trash. From the parks department, a broken kitchen stove from the Commons building at Karst. This will also be sold for scrap. Probation department, vehicle CC8, this is a typo. It's not a 2001 Ford Escape. It is actually a 2011 Ford Escape. I just recognized that this morning. And from the prosecutor's office, a broken metal shelf that will be sold for scrap.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments or questions? Commissioner Madeira?
Find myself longing for the pictures of the offending items, but I think I'm good otherwise. I do have one question. When it says go for trade, what does that mean?
It means, okay, this would mostly be police vehicles. And the vendor we purchase new vehicles from, they'll do a trade-in evaluation of the vehicles, and then we receive credit.
Gotcha. Very efficient. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much.
And I do have, I thought I included it in the packet. There is an Exhibit A with photos. I can get that to you.
We'll just have to look at those. I always like to see a pile of bad office chairs.
They're in
Any
there.
comments or questions?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Because isn't that the ARPA number?
It is, the
But
8950.
that's the edit. This relates to the edit, not ARPA.
Oh, that's right. But I don't think that's,
I think we just leave the fund
just
number
leave
out.
it, yeah. Yep,
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay. So, you know, it's the last meeting of the year. This is where we do this stuff. Improvisational meeting. So did you have any questions or comments on the items for?
No, I don't.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Stay remembered where we were even. All right. Seeing none. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-53 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
See you next year.
Okay. Not if we see you first. All right, next item, please.
Move approval of Toshiba copier fleet agreement, fund name, cumulative capital, fund number 1138, in the amount of $208,547 for a 5-year period.
Second.
We have a motion, and we have a second, and we have Mr. Crone joining us. Let me get that.
Good morning, everyone. Greg Crone, Technical Services Department. About 3 years ago, we did a complete inventory and appraisal of our fleet copiers. And at that time, we broke it into 2 groups, aging and dying and soon to be. So 3 years ago, we replaced approximately 32 of the aging and dying. we're 3 years into that 5-year agreement, and now it's time to do the other 34 that we have in our fleet. With this offset and the Toshiba working with us, even the combined of the two is less than we were paying our previous vendor. So it is a cost savings, even though we're going to be running 2 separate leases. So we've done our best to try to delay this out so we can get closer to the end of this lease, and this is about as close as we could get. The machines that we still have under RICO are old enough now, parts has become difficult to get, and they're going to start changing their costs or discontinuing them altogether. So we've pushed as long as we can drag that out to try to save some money.
Thank you so much. Comments, questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
No, thank you.
I don't have any questions either. It seems like you've got a batch working in various cycles. You just are doing this in great chunks. And
We're
that
trying to
makes
keep
sense.
it within 2 for the management situation, and it becomes a kind of a mess to try to track all those contracts and keep everything up to date. So
Exactly.
we at least wanted to get 75 to 80% into the current lease agreement before we took on more. And like I said, we're getting ready to approach year 4 of that original 5-year with Toshiba. So
Wow.
we've done pretty well with that.
Good deal. Thank you. All right, any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Toshiba copier fleet agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Move approval of the Strengthening Prevention Grant Amendment Number 2 for Disease Intervention Specialists, Fund Name STD Strengthening Prevention, Fund Number 8112, in the amount of negative $58,835.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Oh, Ms. Kelly, tell us about it.
So we are here for approval for, this is an amendment to our STD grant contract that provides grant funding for our disease intervention services. So unfortunately, we did not receive approval to move forward in the hiring process for an additional grant funded position to provide these additional services. Therefore, this grant funding is being reduced. This current grant ends February 28th, 2026. The Indiana Department of Health will still have to find someone to provide the services for the additional 4 counties. So still yet to be seen what will happen with this grant next year.
Comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
That's certainly unfortunate that you won't be able to take advantage of this, but
I hate to leave free money on the table for something as critical as STD disease prevention, especially when the numbers are climbing. So,
Yeah, this is hard for me to understand, and it's not on the health department. I don't understand. I understand a hiring freeze, but if you have a grant-funded position, then that person could be hired until the grant is gone. And so we've missed out an opportunity here to hire somebody locally, potentially, in our community to do this important work. So very disappointing. That's the least of my words today. All right, let's see if there's any public comment on this item. You can raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Strengthening Prevention Grant Amendment Number 2 for Disease Intervention Specialists signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item, please.
move approval of the Koenig Equipment, Inc. Service Agreement, Fund Names, County General and Parks Non-Reverting, Fund Numbers 1000, 1178, 1179, and 4113, in an amount not to exceed $3,000.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Parks
Yes.
Director Whitmer.
Yes,
good
this
morning.
is for Koenig Equipment. They repair big things on our John Deere tractors. But we have an in-house mechanic who does most of everything, except if it would be, and John Deere tractors last 40, 50 years. So we try to take very good care of them.
Excellent. Comments or questions, Commissioner Madeira?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the Koenig Equipment, Inc. service agreement signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. I'm going to make a motion that we remove item H, which is ordinance 2025-49, as apparently there's some other amendments that need to be made on this, and we can hear this in January sometime. I won't set a date. That's my motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of removing item H from the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. All right, on to item I.
Move approval of the ARPA Plan Amendment Number 11.
Second.
We have a motion, and we have a second.
Yes, this is somewhat of a housekeeping item, and I would say it's somewhat related to K in that that's a housekeeping item too. Neither of these have any change in appropriation or budget for the ARPA plan, so the fund name, fund number, and stuff aren't necessarily for either one of those items. But this is just kind of having our expenditures conform with what we've actually done over the course of the year. I think the biggest change is we put a little bit more money into our accounting group to do that. So this is essentially just to get the plan to match up with our current expenditures so that next year when we go through the audit process, it's a clean audit trail for the people looking at our project.
All right, any comments, questions, or edits? Okay. So we have not reallocated the money yet. We have to meet with council.
Yeah, this does not change I think that what we're talking about is we are at the final stages of determining what septic amount in the contracts are. It looks like there's probably going to be over $200,000 more in that fund than we'll have contracts out for from that December 1st deadline. Just kind of crossing our T's and dotting our I's with the health department to make sure we get the actual correct number. But that's not included in this motion. This motion still has the plan having the same amount in it. That is a conversation for the council and the commissioners to have, and we'll amend the plan after that again once that occurs.
Right, but this is just a recognition that there's no physically possible way to get in these septics by December 1st of 26. Yeah. It's a very small window for installing.
It's a high risk, right?
Yeah.
The things we have under contract now, we've talked with the vendors. They know they're a priority to make sure they're done first half of next year if possible. And if they can't, they're going to come back to us.
Okay.
Right. So beyond that, it was a huge gamble. If we have a really wet year again, we think we can get these in.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a gamble, and so this might still change, but at least it's a recognition that there is some money at play, but there are very specific requirements for how that remaining money is used, which if this is a restricted fund, so it goes back to restricted. It's only open projects that are not complete yet. It's a very small number, so we can't take on new items. So I know we're probably going to get a lot of suggestions from folks, but we can't create new projects at this moment.
Correct. I think we have to look with the projects we have and allocate the money accordingly.
Great. Any other comments or questions? Colleagues, no? Okay. Any public comment on this item? You raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the ARPA plan amendment number 11 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And next item, please.
Move approval of ordinance 2025-50, approving the capital improvement plan for the economic development income tax, or EDIT. Fund name, EDIT, fund number 1112, in the amount of the EDIT cash balance, which is $22,501,043.70, and estimated revenues, which is $24,692,724.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. This one's going to take a little explanation, and then I think we're going to be making some amendments.
Yes, and let me start with the explanation. Pursuant to state code, we have to have an edit plan in order to receive the economic development income tax. And current estimates are we're going to get a little over $12 million a year for the next 2 years, and then of course 28 occurs, and this funding source goes away. But in order to keep receiving those funds into there and not have them segregated from the rest of our funds until we get this plan in place, we need to have a plan in place. The plan has to encompass at least 75% of the revenue we expect to receive over the life of the plan. So if it's 2 years, and it has to be at least 2 years. And so since we anticipate the plan will end, or the funding source will end at the end of 27, that really the number you've got to hit is about 19 million in the plan, because 5 years we're still getting the same amount of revenue, because after, yeah. So that's the reason we have the plan on the agenda. We had a discussion with the county council, with some county council members at our work session, I think 2 weeks ago. The county council reviewed and at their meeting voted to recommend some amendments to the plan. And so what you have in the packet is really two different versions of the plan. The first is the kind of the original one that was talked about at that meeting and then given to the council for review. And the second one is the amendments. The amendments aren't really clear from how it's organized in the packet, so I'm just going to go through them really quickly right now. The first one is that they recommended that the plan expire on December 31st, 2027. And again, in order to do that, we'd have to make sure it is in place by December 31st, 2025, because it has to be at least a 2-year plan. The second is they wanted to have the Justice Center project to be numbered Project 1, Justice Center project. And they wanted the to be titled Project 1. They wanted the general description to be County Justice Center and or County Jail Project, and they wanted the estimated cost to be changed from $225 million to $150 million. And then I went ahead and renumbered the rest of the projects based upon that.
So just to be clear, I'm sorry, you have 2 Exhibit A's.
Correct.
So you're looking at the second Exhibit A.
Yeah, and I'm explaining the difference between the first Exhibit A and the second Exhibit A.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. I'm just making sure we're all on the same page. All right. Please continue. I'm sorry.
And so those are the basic changes the county council had requested. I did some renumbering. I think the other thing that we would want to think about is if we wanted to move it to December 31st, 2027, we would also look at the transit portion of that, because it says 200,000 per year, but in the projected budget we'd had $1 million, so clearly we would change that number to either 500,000 per year or the total budget of 400,000. In addition, I think after talking with the airport director, and then knowing that we've received probably over the last 3 years, well over $750 million in projects that we're looking at locating at the airport, that the term for the airport terminal project be changed to airport economic development project, which would still encompass the terminal building if that's the direction we chose, but it would also allow for that money to be used for maybe some infrastructural needs for maybe some of those projects if we ever landed one. So I think that would be the recommendation from staff to change that as well.
Can you give me that language again?
To change the airport terminal building project to airport economic development projects.
All right, yeah, it's much looser, bigger, broader. Okay. Economic development projects, plural, I would say plural.
Can I ask a question, just for clarification on the 4.667, I believe that the council has put in? Is that specific to 26, or is it also for 27?
It says 2026 operational costs.
Yes.
And it is listed in the budget just once. And the total for the 2 years is that same amount. It's not each year. Are you saying it needs to be each year?
I'm concerned it should be.
If we get through budgets in summer of 26, gosh, it sounds so far away, but it's going to be here before you know it. And it's determined that additional monies are needed, another $5 million, for example, for dealing with, this is insurance, a county expense. Can we change this plan again?
This plan can be amended.
Okay.
So at any point.
Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you all right with that? No, I'm glad you raised it. You all right with that?
Yeah.
Wait and see, amend later. Okay. All right. So, now is the time to make some edits. So, I am fine with setting the date at December 31st, 2027. In project 1, I would remove the Orr County Jail project, and I would change that amount back to $225 million, which doesn't remove anything the council has asked for. Item 3, that's part 1 of my motion to amend. Item 3, airport economic development projects, plural. So just retitling it. Item 5, transit, 500,000 per year, to come to that $1 million that's in the budget. That's my motion.
Second.
Thank you. Well, let's do this one first, and then we'll hear other motions to amend. Is that okay? Any thoughts or comments on the motion? Okay. Any public comment on the motion to amend?
My name is Peter Iverson, a resident of Monroe County, and I am the President Pro Tem of the County Council. Madam President, thank you for your amendments. We certainly appreciate the keeping the date, as we all know that the changes to edit are looming. So we appreciate that. We would prefer to keep the and/or in the description, but we understand the rationale. The estimated total cost of that project we felt was inflated, given the fact that we don't know where we're going at this point, but of course that can be edited. And I just wanted to thank Mr. Cockrell for his work on the airport. We certainly think that's a worthy project here, and we're glad to see that transit is expanding. So we would prefer that we keep the Justice Center and County Jail project estimated cost at $150 million, so we don't see the inflation in that, but otherwise we are thankful for the amendment.
Okay. So before we vote on our amendment, I have another question. The budget at the end does not include Project One in that second Exhibit 1. So the projects are not numbered correctly in the on our packet, page 135.
Okay, and I understand, and I can correct it for project 2 through 5. I can add project 1. I just would say that it was organized that way because I think we're all under the understanding that under the current legislation, project 1 can't be financed, right? We could put project 1 in there, but particularly if we're expiring this before in 27, unless there's a legislative change, project 1 is something that I think everybody is interested in doing, but until those so we kind of put within that project, and that's why it wasn't numbered, we put in that project kind of the legislative changes that were going to be necessary in order to make that viable. And then there is language in there that if those come and become viable, then this becomes the top priority project, right? And so it was organized with the acknowledgement that, yes, this would be our top priority if the legislation was changed to allow it to become that. But right now it's not. And so it was kind of organized to recognize that, but to kind of still meet the statutory requirements for funding that are possible.
Okay, so then, so of course, if we put more in our plan than we have to expend, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So legally, if it says make a plan for $20 million and you put $40 million worth of planning in there, it's okay, right? Legally.
Yes.
Okay. So,
I think
so what I would ask is I would consider this just a Scrivener's error. I would say that project 1 needs to be listed, and then, project 1, the total amount, 225, if this amendment passes. And then you have to renumber the projects at the end, so they match what's above 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So delineate, yes, this is our priority. This is our second priority. And just list it that way. And that way it's both in there. They're both in there and everything's listed correctly. Does that make sense to everybody? I just think Scrivener's thing. Okay, so anyway, we've had public comment on the amendment, on the modifications of the expiration date, the titling of Project 1 and Project 3, and the amount for Project 1, $225 million, and Project 5, $500,000 a year. So we've had public comment. All those in favor of approving the amendment signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries 3-0. Okay, so now it's an amended plan. And I want to see what other questions, comments, amendments you all have on this item. Have we covered?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of just the layout, you understand my point about put project 1 in there, draw a line under it, say this is our priority, but legislative, yada, yada, and then list projects 2 through 6. So they match the numbers above.
And what I had done, and maybe I need to change it, is I just put project 1 at $225 million in that expenditures during the term of the plan. And I think that,
okay,
because I think the legislative stuff is already in this plan.
Yeah,
So
it seems to me it is. So, okay, I just didn't know if you were uncomfortable leaving it as here's our project 1, 2, 3. Okay.
No.
Perfect. All right. Anything else on this item from my colleagues? Any public comment on this amended ordinance? Mr. Iverson?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to recognize that this is one of the examples that we can hold up of the council and the commissioners collaborating. We had that really healthy discussion at your work center. And then when we brought it to council, I think we were able to work very closely with staff to make sure that the projects articulated were placed in here. And I hope that as we move forward, we can hold this edit plan up as an example of how we can work not only efficiently together, but effectively together. And so I would also point out that as we talked about this in the council, the expenditures during the term of the plan on the second page was incredibly helpful for council members that weren't part of that work center conversation to be able to see, oh, okay, project 1 has this outflow, project 2 has this outflow, there's the total, it's under that 75% that the legislature has set. So I wanted to come up and say kumbaya.
All right, thank you. Any other comment on this amended? Yes, sir. What did we miss?
Well, and I was listening to what you said, and I think this also encapsulates it. At the end of it, we have where we said the percentage of the projects included in the plan. We have an asterisk, I think, adding to the language of that asterisk that the percentage excludes the Justice Center project due to the current statutory framework not allowing for the financing of that project, I think would be helpful in clarifying how all those numbers get put into place.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we amend the plan thusly. That's my motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any public comment on the second motion to amend? And go ahead and read that again, Mr. Cockrell, if you would.
That the asterisk at the end of the document adds language after estimates to the percentage excludes the Justice Center project due to the current statutory framework not allowing for the financing of that project.
Okay. Right. Any public comment on that? All those in favor of amending ordinance 2020-50 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. So now we have an amended ordinance. Anything else?
No, my only comment is that I think it's really important to keep the $225 million in there to send a clear message to the legislature that, we are really serious about these. Even if that's not the amount that actually ends up getting spent, it sends a clear message that we are intent upon building this facility. And that message is important to send.
Absolutely. And this will never cover the whole project anyway, but it is certainly the plan, the hope, the dream that we will have some information coming from the legislature in early 2026 that they've helped us get this going. And then it's a matter of finding a piece of land, but we'll cross that rickety bridge when we get to it. Thank you for that. I'll do another round of public comment on the amended ordinance 2025-50. Right. All those in favor of approving the amended ordinance 2025-50 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I don't have an amount for that item K. That's what we're missing. We need an amount. One moment. There's no amount. Okay, there's no amount. There we go. Thank you. All right. Next item, please.
Move approval of an amendment to ARPA agreement with the Convention Center Management Company. Fund name ARPA, fund number 7950.
8950.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My handwriting. Terrible.
8950.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion?
Second.
All right, who's presenting this?
I can present this.
I see Ms. Kopic is here.
She is here to maybe fill in any factual holes in mine, in my presentation. We approved a contract for the Convention Center Management Company to utilize what we had allocated for ARPA to improve the areas of the Convention Center. And as Richard Kreider was working with the Convention Center Management Company, we actually got contracts and we actually got, indications of this is what we're going to spend here and there, where there was some general language of audiovisual and things like that in the original contract. So what this does is it takes out that audiovisual language from the contract or from the agreement, and the list of exhibits. Exhibit B is what we're actually spending it on, and Exhibit A is what the original intent was, just to kind of so people can look at it and say, well, here's where the changes were made along those lines. So we're really just trying to clean up that contract to make sure it conforms with what actually occurred. Again, this is done mostly for audit reasons, to make sure that when the audit group comes in to audit our books, they have a clean, clear trail of how things were spent and the lines of authority for that spending.
Any comments or questions, Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Madeira?
No, thank you.
Ms. Kopic, did you want to add anything? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Talisha Kopic, Convention Center Management Company, and just wanted to say the bottom line stays the same. We tried for a year to get the existing building and the new building to talk to each other with audiovisual, and it was just not making sense at all. And so now the existing building audiovisual will be taken care of by the Capital Improvement Board. So that just made a lot more sense. And then in the meantime, with all of that, we had some significant, like the water heater that needed to be replaced. So just thank you so much. These projects were invaluable for stabilizing the building. And, as you know, it's a 100-year-old building and it's rocking at full tilt most of the time. So we appreciate that and appreciate your patience. And I'm also impressed with the level of activity and detail, and just my hats are off to all of you for what a challenging job, all the topics that you deal with.
Yeah.
But thank you to the Auditor's Office, Legal Department, Commissioners, everybody.
Yeah.
Season's greetings.
Greetings. Thank you. Thank you for the nice words. We appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of plate spinning all the time.
Yeah.
You do the same thing, just in a different world. Yep. All right. Any public comment on this item? Raise your hand on Teams or come to the podium. Seeing none. All those in favor of approving the amendment to the ARPA agreement with the Convention Center Management Company signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of milestone change order number 1 for Moores Creek Road Stormwater Project. Fund name, Stormwater, fund number 1197, in an amount of negative $67,689.18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Ms. Penna. Thank you for your patience and waiting, and welcome. Good morning.
I'm happy to end on a money back to us note.
Yeah, nice.
So our milestone Moores Creek Road project, they paved it last November, so November 2024. They spent 2025 doing minor finishing up touches. So we're closing out the contract and getting out everything finished out. So the total of our underrun was $74,628.58. There was one a change to the treatment of the subgrade that cost an additional $6,939.40. So our total underrun was $67,689.18 below the contract.
Great. It is nice to have some money come back to stormwater to be used for something else amazing. All right, comments or questions? Commissioner Jones?
No, I'm just pleased that we'll have this extra money for stormwater. We can use it.
We could use it. Commissioner Madeira?
I think this is a good way to get money back. Good way to end the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah. We always just like to remind folks that the 3 members of the Board of Commissioners and the surveyor make up the Stormwater Board. So we're very happy. We've seen the money going out, and we're so glad this project's done. So thanks for all the hard work on that. That's not been an easy project.
Yes. Yeah, so the Moores Creek side is done. Stip Road is the other portion of that, and that's finishing up. They're done paving. Guardrails went in, so the road should be opening hopefully by the end of this week. There's just some finishing touches. Then they'll spend portion of 2026 doing the final stabilization and final details. So
good news for the folks who live out there, especially because I think we're supposed to get an inch of rain today.
Yes, yeah. So
I didn't know that.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for all your hard work, and happy holidays to you from all of us. Any public comment on this item? You can raise your hand in Teams or come to the podium. All right, seeing none. All those in favor of approving the milestone change order number 1 for the Moores Creek Road Stormwater Project signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Give me one moment. Let's take a quick 30-second pause, if we might, in the meeting. I'm going to recess the meeting for a minute. Thank you.
It's on the it's on the website. I would just add it as an item.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let me go back.
I pulled it off the website, so I'm sure it's there.
All right. Thank you, and we're back to our meeting. Thank you for your patience. We have an additional resolution that is available on our website. It is not part of our packet. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to introduce and approve Resolution 2025-58, a resolution regarding notice to homeless encampments.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Cockrell.
Okay. Yes, the resolution is based upon the conversations that occurred at essentially the work session last Thursday. At that work session, the discussion, the request was that the commissioners allow or require 30 days notice in the event that we are going to remove a homelessness encampment. So this resolution recognizes that. It also recognizes that we won't issue that 30-day notice until March 2nd of this year, or of next year, 2026. Sorry, in the future a little bit there. And that this is enforced unless the commissioners get notice from, or unless you rescind it at a notice meeting, or if the emergency is determined by law enforcement, the Monroe County Health Officer, or if the removal is requested by the City of Bloomington. So I think we've covered our bases with, I used the word if something became unstable at that, which granted is a pretty generic term, right? I agreed with them, but those are the people who can help, who will let you guys know if it's unstable, and of course, if you can determine on your own if it's unstable, that is. And then it also has a section that where the where you are going to request other Monroe County and City of Bloomington elected leaders to meet and discuss steps to address the homelessness in the community. So those are kind of the two components of this resolution.
So I will say I appreciate that those authorities that may impact decision-making are delineated. It's very clear, very transparent. I would like us to begin that process of determining next steps, but I'm afraid that we've been stuck in paralysis by analysis for far too long. And so I think we need some action, and we'll be sending an email invitation to our colleagues in the city and on the county council to join us in the creation of a working group to determine the next steps. And we'd really like some action and some numbers and some specifics. That would be incredibly helpful. Do you have any comments or questions? Okay. Commissioner Madeira?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone for participating in the discussion last week, and it was, I think, very eye-opening and very beneficial.
Mm-hmm. It was, and we do appreciate residents who have stepped up, and we do expect and hope that they will continue to be part of that process of finding a better way out of this. So I agree with that. Any public comment on Resolution 2025-58? Yeah. Ms. Whitmer?
I have not read the resolution, so forgive me if I'm completely off base. Yeah. For instance, at a park, if we have one tent, is that an encampment? And the reason why is because in the old procedure, we would put the sign up to tell them what we're doing. And I can't remember, it's like 5 days total. But if that tent stays for 30 days, we might have 2 tents and then 3 tents.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what the resolution says, so.
Well, I think the resolution says that a reasonable person would conclude that the property is associated with a homeless encampment. In my mind, one tent does not an encampment make, right? But if it grows to 2 or 3 or 4, then I think it becomes an encampment, right?
So we still go back to the old procedure, which I don't have in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we want to provide at least 30 days notice. So it's not.
For one tent? Because that's not what.
I guess.
I'm glad you're asking these questions. Mm-hmm. Thank you for.
I think to clarify, the intent is for this to deal with homeless encampments. If you have any other reasons that someone is storing personal property on county property, those rules are still in place. What this is essentially doing is that if you were dealing with a homeless encampment, that 72-hour notice that's required under our current code is going to become a 30-day notice for homeless encampments only.
Right.
More than one tent.
Correct.
Good questions.
Peter Iverson, Monroe County resident, County Council. The resolution is a little hard to find, so I just wanted to encourage folks that when you go to the Board of Commissioners website, you have to go down to all the way down to the agendas and packets section to get to the resolution. I will say the meeting on December the 11th was really helpful, and the County Council stands in solidarity with you in wanting a working group to talk about these issues. Clearly, this resolution is a first step toward that, and we see it as that. And I would just encourage you in the now therefore section that when you direct people to give that notice, that 30 days notice, that it not only include Monroe County staff, but also those street outreach folks, particularly through the contract that we have through HealthNet. So thank you for this, and I look forward to continuing this conversation.
That wouldn't be.
There's nothing in our code that allows somebody who isn't a county personnel to issue that notice.
Right.
Right,
It has
so-
to be county
And then-
staff who issues the notice for removal.
That's a helpful clarification.
It would not come from HealthNet. HealthNet is called in to help before that time, as early as possible. We notify them.
And they're there to take care of their patients.
Right. They don't give notice.
No.
It has to be the county that does it.
Yes, no.
Because it's county property.
Right. And then would the 30-day notice be public, or would this be a notice solely to those experiencing homelessness?
Typically, it's posted at the site with some conversations, and it's not just like quietly posted at dark and people run away. There are conversations that occur at that time. And again, that's a minimum, so it could be 60 days, it could be more. Yes.
I can add that I reached out to Mary Morgan, and she's willing to act as the focal point for notices. So if there is such a notice, we could send it to her, and she would ensure that it gets to HealthNet, to Beacon, Wheeler, Community Kitchen. She would ensure that that way it's noticed clearly.
And I guess from my perspective, I think this is a resolution. It's not an amendment to our code or anything.
Sure.
Precisely to give that, that last two-line thing has a lot of value here. It's precisely to give that group the ability to make recommendations and to discuss how do we want that done, and what areas do we want done. I mean, all those are great things, but I think that is something we left intentionally vague in this. There were commitments made at the last week's meeting, and we want to make sure that those are involved.
Yep.
The other commitment was, hey, we're going to get together and look at this. And I think all those questions you just asked are great things for that group to kind of provide feedback on.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the rationale for me bringing up the notice was that this last incident that happened, the notice hit Reddit first. That's where some of us saw it first, and I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen again, because of course that started a rumor mill and that started all sorts of hearsay. So I just want to make sure that we're not, we're just being above board and we're being clear with what we're doing.
We can look at that issue, but from our perspective, if you have somebody who is trespassing on county property, then the notice doesn't have to be voted on because that wrong has already occurred, right? It's already an inconsistency with the legal standing of people on that property. So we wouldn't vote on it publicly because that would mean we'd have to vote on everything we do. And, but it's certainly something we can look at and will look at in terms of how the information gets out to the community. But the information is targeted for and at that very specific location where there's an encampment. And we don't want to make the situation harder for them.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, and I think
it's a very fine line, very fine line.
For the purposes of public comment, I think I'll just leave it as I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation.
That's right. We definitely have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
For sure. Thank you. And any expenses that we've ever incurred as a result of clearing is only in the cleanup. It is in Bio One. Indy is who we use. We do have a contract right now that we haven't implemented, activated, but that's the only expense we incur, and that's a cleanup including biohazards and syringes.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really helpful conversation to have as we move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like we have DH online. I see a second hand raised, but I can't see it on my screen. So it's Mr. Henry, County Council. Can you go ahead?
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you. I'm going to make comments. David Henry, Monroe County resident, though I'll be putting on my hat as a practitioner of emergency management and adjunct at IU's O'Neill School. I think the challenge I'm having as I've seen us work through this resolution and the encampment over the past few weeks is that the fatal flaw is in the 2019 ordinance. The resolution may address the ordinance, but the ordinance itself is the flawed piece here because there's a almost dispassionate discussion about this being a property problem and a trespass problem and not a humanity problem. If we were to imagine 70 people displaced from a tornado in our community that we'd have to find shelter for and connect to social services, we'd conduct this work in a very different way. We would be leveraging our emergency management agency. We'd be writing plans and preparing in advance with the partners we're tasking like HealthNet and Beacon and Heading Home and the Sheriff's Department that have roles in how to move a clearing or an encampment. And that's not what's going on in the ordinance. That's not what's going on in the resolution. The language still speaks to a sort of criminal trespass and then property management problem, which really, as I look around the room at the people tasked with that, do not have the qualifications to manage an emergency like we would a tornado, right? And so it's not really, I think, fair to our staff to utilize them in that way when we have an emergency management agency and partners that are preparing for things like encampments. And so I look forward to bringing that into our conversation when we all meet. That the ordinance itself is the problem at this point, and it's really just putting Band-Aids on the gunshot wound that we've created with displacing people with nowhere to go. And we really need to recenter our thinking on this. And it kind of gets back to a point which I've made in the county council meetings that we've yet to see in any conversations, the plan, the point of contact for this activity, and then who the media goes to. And even in the context of this discussion, I just heard kind of revelations about, HealthNet's contacted, Heading Home's contacted, and yet that's not a plan. There's no checklist for that. And so I think those are very important things we have to do to manage this better. And it's clear that, to me anyway, that, we can make a 30-day notice, 45-day notice, 15-day notice. It's still just adding pieces to an ordinance that itself is not treating the challenge we're having with encampments as the emergency they are. It's not a natural disaster, it's an economic one. And we should start treating it that way to treat the humans in there with a little more dignity. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Commissioner Maduro, did you want to respond?
Yes, I think that the resolution is just a very tentative first step, and we have many, many conversations to engage in, and those conversations will inform what takes place. So those factors certainly are among those to be considered, but I think it's even broader than that.
Yeah, and really this is in response to what folks wanted, what people in the community asked for. So I don't see this as a wrong move at all. It is certainly temporary, and we recognize that. You can tell that by the way that it's written. I don't appreciate the implication that there's no checklist or process, because there is a process, and we've just now heard of another change in the process. But there is a process, and we have followed that, and it is a bigger, broader problem, but it is not one the county can solve alone. And it is not one emergency management can solve. It is one that is solved across the community that includes the city. So we will be issuing an invitation soon to begin that process. We do recognize it's a bigger problem. We said the same thing last week. So I'm not sure that there's a clear understanding of what this is for. It provides exactly what the community requested, and we've done that. We also have Ashley with a hand raised. If TSD, if you could promote Ashley, and then we'll come back to the room for Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Ashley Shanting. I'm a resident of the Thompson property that started this conversation. I would like to push back. This is not what the community asked for. It is, honestly, it has so many caveats as to make it almost meaningless as protection against winter evictions. And it is very concerning to me, the lack of transparency and the lack of community involvement that are involved in the proposed next steps. So we also look forward to continuing this conversation with you guys via the means available to us.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Lee is also online. I know Lee has been waiting, but hadn't had their hand raised. Well, we'll go ahead and hear from Mr. Davis in this room, and then we'll...
Hello, I think I got it.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, Ashley?
Hi, my name is Lee Grudenhafer. I just wanted to say I object to the last-minute addition to the agenda. I think that if this is important enough to do, it's enough to give adequate notice to everyone in the community to know that this is going to be on the agenda and be able to be here and think about this as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And to both Ashley and Leah, I'd like to say that what this does is it provides the assurances that were requested by the community. It doesn't solve a long-term problem, but what it does say is that there will be a minimum of 30 days notice, that there won't be a notice issued before March 2nd, 2026. So it has, it reflects what we had heard. Our concern was that if we did nothing, we would be into January and folks would still not have that certainty that they had been seeking last week. So again, it is the beginning, it is not the end. And we do hope that the community participates as we move forward, looking at those next steps, because that's an integral part of creating any solution. It's not just going to be created amongst a few people. It will take the entire community and their input to make this right. So thank you both. Mr. Davis, please. Even though I've introduced you, introduce yourself, please. And you'll have 3 minutes.
Where will I look to see the countdown?
It is on that screen.
Okay, so I talk and then I come around here and the screen.
TSD, would you provide a larger clock on one of the monitors, please?
I'll turn it around for you.
There you go. Thank you. Yes, would you turn that, please?
Okay, that's great.
There you go.
I can look at that one over there.
There's one right there,
easily.
too. We got you covered.
I'll try not to get whiplash.
Can't do right for doing wrong. All right.
Hey, thank you very much. My name is Joe Davis, Joseph B. Davis, and I would like to make some comments, ask some questions regarding the resolution. I do think it is an improvement from the previous limiting 2 or 3 day notice that existed before. 30 days is certainly much better. The first question I would like to ask, I'm sorry, I have not read the resolution. I just read on Dave Askin's Thursday email that he sends out to the public that the commissioners were having a meeting today, and I'm grateful to Dave Askins always for his community information. So the first question I have, is there a definition for what constitutes a homeless encampment? And
So we won't answer questions, but we will take your questions under advisement. So please continue. We're interested in this.
okay, I'm sorry, I got the impression from when our council person was making comments, there was a dialogue back and forth, and I thought that was what was appropriate in this circumstance. Okay, the second question is, which properties owned by the county are going to follow these guidelines? For example, if someone were to camp out here, a single person, that's an encampment. If there are more, then it's a larger number. But if a single person camps out here on the courthouse grounds, are they going to have 30 days notice? Are they going to be able to move their stuff out and be treated civilly? The next thing that I would like to ask is there a means for filing injunctions when people are removed from the status quo? I know from media reports that some of the folks who were cleared out of that property recently had been there for maybe 3 years. The status quo was that they have been there. And in our courts of law, injunctions have the ability to maintain the status quo until this issue gets before the court. So this brings, oh, I'm out of time. I'm so sorry. 3 minutes is too little.
You are invited to send additional questions you have to us via email, or you can call us, or contact us in some way with your questions, because they're very interesting questions. We appreciate that.
Okay, there's just one more thing I would like to mention, and this is a technical issue. My friend Lee Grundhafer, who just spoke from online, the monitor spelled her name L-E-E.
We don't control that. That's produced by the person who is signing in.
Okay, well.
And then the caption is the caption. Yep. We don't have somebody actually typing. It's AI generated, so we can't
Is there a
help
way
that.
to train the AI so that they spell her name correctly?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, they get me wrong all the time, so it's okay.
Exactly. That's why we need to train the AI that is serving our people. Thank you.
Spare time. All right. Okay. So with that, I do want to see if there is any other comments or questions from my colleagues.
No, I just wanted to address something that I just heard. Just to make clear, there was no one removed from the encampment. And so there was a suggestion that some people who were removed had been there for 3 years. No one was removed from the Thompson property. So just to clarify that. The actual encampment that was handled, I believe, on Monday, Browns Woods, that Monday on December 8th, was actually a city property.
That's city. That was a city encampment. Yep.
So that was not the county.
No.
I know it can be hard to keep the two distinct on some areas.
Yeah, for sure. All right. All right, so we're ready for a vote on this item? Okay. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-58 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And despite the fact that we heard somebody say, well, this isn't what we wanted at all, this is what we heard. This is what we heard most folks wanted. And we know this isn't the end. This is the beginning. So we appreciate everybody's participation and assistance with this. All right. So do you have some appointments? I'm going to go ahead and make a motion for the Historic Preservation Board of Review. These are 4-year terms through January 1st, 2029. These are reappointments. Don Hall, Michael Rushton, and Colby Wicker. For the Licensing Board, this is a 2-year appointment ending in January 1st of 2028. Bill Riggert. The Monroe Fire Protection District. These are 4-year appointments that run through December 31st, 2029. Vicki Sorensen, John Bernstein, Mike Baker, Kevin Robling. For the Opioid Settlement Board of Review, this is a 2-year appointment ending December 31st, 2027. I have that wrong in my notes. And that would be Kathy Hewitt. For the Redevelopment Commission, these are 1-year appointments ending December 31st, 2026. Richard Martin and Mike Jones. That's my motion.
Second.
We have a second. Thanks to everyone who have been serving so ably and capably and doing so much for Monroe County. These are all reappointments, so thank you for re-upping. We appreciate it. All those in favor of approving these appointments signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I will note that we have some pretty important openings on boards and commissions, and this comes with a bit of news as well, but we have 3 members of our Board of Health are stepping down, and that includes Lee McKinley, but Aurora Dawn DiOrio she's currently the chair of that board, has really made a big difference for Monroe County and public health. And Dr. George Hageman, who has been on that board for more than 2 decades. It's amazing. He's a professor emeritus in biology from IU, and he's very active elsewhere in the community. We are going to miss him, and we really do hope that he stays in touch and keeps providing public comment and input because he's so thoughtful, and we're going to miss all 3 of them. But my gosh, more than 2 decades on a board or commission, that is impressive. So many thanks. So we do have openings for the Board of Health. We also have openings in animal management. There are a number of those. So we're going to try to figure out a way to post something on the homepage, Angie, that the royal we, Angie, if you would. We're going to try to figure out some way to post a notice so that folks know exactly what's available, what's open, and what we need help with. Really so we would appreciate it. And you can apply online. You don't have to come in. And we really do appreciate those folks who serve. As another announcement, we are planning as of now to meet on Monday, December 22nd at 5 p.m. And this is related to the Monroe Fire Protection District. And it concerns bean blossom. And I know that we have had conversations with Polk Township, Salt Township, and we've had some conversations about Richland and Richland Ellisville being a potential district, et cetera. But we're holding those questions off until 2026, but early in the year. So stay tuned. But we are going to meet Monday, 5 p.m. We've had 2 meetings at Steinsville and had a pretty good turnout at both to have these initial discussions and to talk through the tax issues and other things for residents. So it's been a very interesting process. So folks who live in Bean Blossom Township and have any comments or questions, please come to that meeting. You can join via Teams, or you can come here to the Nat U Hill Room, and you are welcome to submit comments via email, and we will note them during our meeting, what we've received commentary-wise, and they become part of our record of decisions. So what you have to tell us is important. We have heard from a number of folks at Steinsville over the course of these meetings, but we are under a time crunch because this would take effect January 1st, 2027, and that's why we need to act sooner. Just a reminder as well that we do have office hours 6 times a month. You're invited to look at the calendar on our homepage and join us on Teams for a conversation. We do recommend folks sign up for the resident alert system, especially, it seems like there's no bad time of year to do it, but with winter weather, you never know. So we do need that. I will note that we are closed. Oh, I don't have my calendar with me. What's our closing days? Our closing days are, I'm going to go look at the calendar. Yeah, I believe so too. I just want to get that clear. Yeah, 24th, 25th, 26th, January 1st and 2nd. Correct?
Or New Year's Eve, 31st.
Right, 31st, 1st, and 2nd.
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. That was clear as mud. Sorry. But we do want to wish everyone in the community happy holidays, whether it be Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a peaceful winter solstice, Happy Kwanzaa. There's a lot to celebrate this time of year, and I really appreciate my colleagues. I just want to thank you both for an amazing year, and I do want to just put out a message, and this is for our colleagues in county government. It's for everyone in the community. Let's just try to be more kind in 2026. That's just what I'm going to ask for. Anything you want to add?
It'd be nice.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
No, I just appreciate my colleagues. I appreciate everybody in county government and city as well. We work so hard to serve the public in these buildings, and I appreciate when the public responds and recognizes that.
Yeah.
It is always very nice, and everybody who works for the county enjoys hearing that too.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. We have great employees in this county. Boy, they got us through that storm last weekend.
Yes.
Amazing. And it was so cold, you couldn't do much, but they did it. But they did it. They figured out how to do it. We have amazing employees. Every day they come to work to serve residents, and that is mind-blowing. And it's a thankless job, but it is a good idea to thank them. So, all right, our next meeting is January 8th of 2026. Sounds like a long way off. Blink will be here. And I do want to thank everyone, all of our colleagues in our office and legal and everywhere. TSD, thank you. We appreciate you. Yay, thumbs up. Cats, we always appreciate you. And unless there's anything else, happy holidays, happy 2026. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.